What's going on? It's Kevin with Optimize Essentials, and today I'm going to talk to you about squat assessments, what happens when your lower back rounds at the bottom, or in other words, what happens when your butt winks, alright? So there's a lot of controversy between whether or not butt wink is okay or if it's acceptable. In my opinion, I think that when you butt wink early on in the squat, as in like before you even hit 45 and you're already rounding, that's an indication of some muscle imbalances, and it does matter. People have different pelvis structure, but if your butt winks, in my opinion, there's something wrong, and we have to address that. And one of the biggest culprits that kind of ties into the butt wink or lower back rounding is if you have a posterior pelvic tilt. Not as common, but still definitely common because we sit a lot. And when you sit excessively, what happens is we're always sitting in posterior tilt, which shortens our hamstrings. So when you stand up, that translates over into a tucked butt, right? With your butt tucked under, your knees a little bit flexed, and that is the posterior pelvic tilt. So what happens when you have a posterior pelvic tilt and then you're trying to do a squat? Well, if you think about it, if your butt's already tucked under, when you're squatting, what happens is your lower back rounds. This is really extreme example, really excessive, but basically you can kind of see how my lower back is rounding. So if you do an overhead squat assessment, if you guys haven't seen already, which I refer to a lot, the NASM squat assessment, when you do overhead squat assessment, what happens is your lower back rounds, and chances are you might even lean forward, or if it's really, really bad, like you have a ton of muscle imbalances and you haven't addressed any of them, your knees might even come forward, lower back rounds, heels might come off of the ground, and everything just looks really, really choppy. And I've seen this before. It's common. It's increasingly more common because people are sitting a lot. I've seen younger teens have it. I've seen older people have it. So it's not specific to age group, but typically what happens is in the lower back rounding, if we have really excessively tight hamstrings, we might have some poor ankle mobility, tight calves. If you haven't seen my excessive forward lean, tipping over squat assessment video, you want to make sure you check that one out too. In that video, I kind of explain similar issues. But basically, to fix your lower back rounding or your butt wink, you want to make sure you pop on a foam roller and really release the hamstrings, right? Your upper hamstrings are the ones that are very tight and overactive, and because they're so tight and overactive, they're going to pull down on your butt, causing your knees to push forward, and it causes all kinds of problems, guys. When your butt tucks under and your knees push forward, what happens is your lower back rounds and compensate, so now you might even have sway back, forward head posture. It can get really complicated, but just to keep things simple and basic, what happens when you have a posterior pelvic tilt is your hamstrings are tight. And then also, if you take a look at their squat form, the squat assessment form that I'm referring to here, they also explain that your gluteus maximus and your lumbar rectors are underactive, meaning they're not doing their job. They're not working they're being not compensated, but basically the tight hamstrings are facilitated, and it's causing the glutes and the lumbar rectors to be inhibited, meaning they're not able to do its job, like I just said. So to reverse this, what you want to do is stretch and release. Release the hamstrings first, and then stretch out your hamstrings by doing this, all right? So you want to press your heel down to the ground, stick your butt out, and really stretch deep into that hamstring right here. So it's one leg at a time, and then you're going to switch legs. So press down and really stretch. If you want to stretch out your lower hamstrings, just point your toe up, straighten the knee out, and then press into that. Don't let your back round, keep your back straight and press into that. So lower hamstrings, toe up towards you, straight knee, press down with your back straight to stretch out your upper hamstrings, which is the culprit in this case, is you want to bend the knee and then stick the butt back and really stick into the ground, all right? So push your hips back. You should feel that deep stretch in your hamstrings, and that's how you stretch your upper hamstrings, right? And then to perform the squat correctly, you also want to make sure you're strengthening your glutes, because your glutes are most likely weak and inhibited in this situation and your lumbar erectors, which are these muscles in your lower back. They're supposed to help erect. That's why they're called lumbar erectors. They erect your lumbar spine. But since you have such tight hamstrings, they become weak and inhibited as well. So you want to make sure you strengthen your glutes out by doing hip ridges, pull-throughs, all kinds of glute workouts you can find out online. But basically, once you've fixed all that, I'm going to teach you how to perform the squat correctly. I've shared this in the tipping over squat assessment, excessive forward lean, to strengthen your lumbar erectors and your glutes, or to engage them during the squat properly. All you want to do is stick that arm out, pop your chest out, extend your back, do it, exaggerate the movement so that you can really feel what it's like to have a nice, upright, stable, solid squat. So pop the chest out, keep the arms out. When you go down, draw your belly button in and push your hips back, all right? Breathe in, draw your belly button in, keep that chest out and really stick that butt out, because we're in the opposite, we're doing the reverse, we're actually doing the opposite. In the lower back round, you're tucked under, so you want to stick your butt out, keep your chest out, really keep your core tight, and focus on pulsating through this movement. And that's how you can engage your glutes, your core, and your lumbar erectors at the same time by counteracting what you've been doing. If you've been squatting, you've been rounding your back, all you have to do is just arch your back. And then all you have to do is focus on strengthening, releasing the muscles, and that's how you do it, guys. So, with all that being said, if you want a program that can teach you how to assess your posture, teach you how to eat correctly for your body type, not have a meal plan, but how to eat correctly for your body type, and then how to stretch out your body, how to see what's wrong with your body, and how to work out so that you can address your muscle balances and strengthen a good foundation, I recommend going to my website, optimizeessentials.com, and checking out my 4-week transformation program. It's great for beginners. That's for people who want a little bit more. It's a little bit extensive, but I do recommend getting it anyways if you're really serious about having a strong, solid foundation so that you don't experience pain, unnecessary pain in your life because you don't have a strong stability, strong support to build your fitness journey on. So if you guys liked what I shared with you today, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends and make some comments if you have any questions. And that is all for today. I'll be pumping out more content on squat assessments and definitely some more on fitness, posture related. That's all, guys. Have a wonderful day. Peace.